Two police helicopters and officers on the ground were scrambled to Richmond Park in West London last night, but there are still no confirmed sightings of Daniel Khalife, the former soldier who's escaped from Wandsworth Prison. Well, escaped on Wednesday, I should say. The helicopter circled around the park in a series of loops after midnight as officers scoured the ground. As for the park itself, it's around 6 miles from Wandsworth Prison, from where Khalife escaped by clinging to a lorry. Well, let's head to Richmond Park. Standing by, Sky's Milena Veselinovic. Morning, Milena. Do we have any idea as to why this became an area of interest for the police?
Well, Daniel Khalife has links to this part of southwest London. He grew up in the area. His mother and his sister lived on the edge of Richmond Park up until just a few years ago. And overnight, 2 police helicopters have been circling across over this very, very large park. And I think we've got some pictures to show you of the flight path where you could see that they kept on going back and over certain areas, trying to shine a spotlight. Residents in this part of town have been hearing them all night long. Now, it's daylight here now, and officers have actually left. The gates of the park are now open, but the search very much still continues. And the reason why there was a focus on this park as well is that it's relatively near to where the van that Daniel Khalife used to cling on to escape prison was actually found, stopped and searched by the police only about a couple of miles down the road. Now, that van left Wandsworth Prison at 7:32 in the morning, but it wasn't up until an hour later at 8:37 that it was actually searched by the police. So that is a decent chunk of time for Daniel Khalife to try to slip into the crowded London streets, because the route that the van took from the prison is indeed through quite busy, populated areas of London. He was wearing quite distinctive clothing at the time, chef's clothing, as we understand, a white top and red and white checkered trousers. But despite that, there have been no confirmed sightings of him, which the police admit is rather unusual. Now, they have been talking up his skills as a soldier. He's been trained to be resilient, to evade capture. That has been one of the cornerstones of what he's been taught to do in the British Army. So today, just minutes ago, the Met Police top boss has renewed his public appeal for information. Take a listen.
My colleagues have done the appeals, and I think if you just play those appeals about what the help we want from the public, that'd be fantastic.
Can you tell us about what's happening at Richmond Park?
Now, officers say they're keeping an open mind whether Daniel Khalife is still in the UK. There are extra checks on the outbound vehicles at the port of Dover, but they're also looking into whether he had any help to escape Wandsworth Prison and whether, in fact, he might be helped even now, because escaping prison is very difficult, but staying undetected for now the 3rd day when there's 150 police officers on the hunt, every single police department in the country. That is also quite unusual, and the Justice Secretary said that he will leave no stone unturned to find out whether there were failings in the prison that day, who worked in the kitchen, who worked on the gates. There is an urgent review that is due for him at the end of this week. Unclear how much of that the public will be able to immediately see. But on the other hand, the Prison Officers Association say that they've been warning for years that security, staffing levels at Wandsworth Prison were really not up to scratch. It was not a safe environment. So really, it is a search for Daniel Khalife right now, but also a little bit of soul searching about the UK's prison system at the same time.